And and we'll just we'll just get right into it, I suppose.
And hello there, all you Stay Tuners. Welcome back to another episode of Stay Tuned Sports. It's your good friend Jimbo here with our good buddy King.
Hey, how you doing, brother?
Hot as balls.
Dude, it is so fucking hot. Oh my god. Here's the thing. It's not that it's hot. It's the air is thicker than Selena Gomez right now. It's just unbearable. Whereas Selena Gomez would be bearable.
I was gonna say
It's this humidity is no bueno. Don't like it. It can really go fuck off if we're being honest. Especially like that's the thing is it's been this is 2.5 weeks now since I've been back from Scotland and Ireland, and coming back from that beautiful like 56, 58 degree weather all day, nice fall kind of weather, just so nice. You can walk around forever. Oh God, it was so great. And now I'm in fucking South Carolina here in the middle of New Jersey, which is absolute bullshit. Like, keep that shit below the Mason-Dixon, you know? Yes. And if you're from the South and you like your warm heat and humidity to where you can't breathe and you can literally, move through air as if it was Jell-O, that's fine. I'm glad you like it. That's for you. That's why you stay down there, okay? Yeah. I am a northern boy. I want my cold. I want my fall. I want my hoodies and jackets and football and all of that. I don't want any of this humidity. You can go kick rocks with that shit, And that's the thing. I can deal with like 88, 90 degrees as long as it's not humid. Like if it's like, whoa, it's warm, but it's a nice breeze. It's summer. That's fine. The humidity is killing me. It's absolutely killing me. And I will not stand for it. Where's our government? Where's our government with their weather controlling machines? We have weather controlling machines and Jewish space lasers, and we're not using them.
We need Jesse Ventura to look into that stuff.
Oh, there's HARP up there in the Arctic Circle. I know because I was a Navy SEAL.
I missed that show. But yeah, like we're actually going to Knoebels on Saturday, which for anybody that's not from Pennsylvania, it's a family amusement park. One of the last free, I'll just put air quotes because you don't pay to get in. I mean, you could go in, park for free, and walk around, not do a thing. You just pay basically. Yeah,
if you want to go on a ride, you pay for it. You want to it's a pay to participate, but not pay to go. And believe it or not, Knoebels is pretty well known actually outside of Pennsylvania, which is funny.
Yeah.
That's good, and that's listen, for this kind of weather and this this time of year, Knoebels is a great place to go.
It's supposed to be like 90, so I already said to the wife, if we buy the swimming passes, is it like an all day? We could go in and out whenever we want, and it is. So it opens up at noon. We're going to the swimming pool at noon, come out at 1, go do some rides, get hot, go back to the pool.
That's cool. I can't do public pools, and for the simple reason that it's, especially on days like this where it's hot, 90 degrees, everybody's not. It's people soup.
Yeah,
and like, listen, no matter how hard you try, there's going to be water that gets everywhere in your face, eyes, nose, mouth. All that, you're going to swallow some, and almost certainly that water has been up against somebody's asshole that's swimming in that water.
That's why you got
and
the chlorine.
Got into that water because they had like swamp ass because it's 90 degrees and 1,000% humidity. So I don't do that. I'm glad I let everybody else go there who wants to go in the pool, enjoy themselves. You go have a fun time being human soup. I will drink frozen alcoholic beverages to stay cool, I suppose. I guess that's a way to do it.
Yeah.
And, if there's a I think it's a little different though when you have like, if you're over a friend's house, you have a friend's pool or family or something like that. Like it's a little bit more like, I know these people and their grossness, and you can even then judge on, if Aunt so and so is going to the pool, I'd rather not, but. That's just me personally. I'm not a germaphobe usually. I'm not somebody who's all like that. I have said I would do disgusting stuff to people and their disgusting areas. I've said that before in my life. I'm not saying that's something I would still adhere to, but strangers in a pool making people soup is not one of my things. Just not one of my things. I'm not a fan. That's you. That's great. I'm glad you're going to enjoy it. But as for me, give me. I'm like Buffett, man. Give me some a frozen concoction over there poolside. I'll watch you all have fun. I'll watch everybody there just splashing away, having a ball. I will be getting drunk on a beach chair. Thank you. That's just what I'm going to do.
Well, after having that visual put in my head, I may not go into the pool now.
I'm just saying. I'm not trying to convert you. I'm not trying to convert anybody to like, hey, don't go swimming in people's soup side, but. When you do stop and think about it, does make a little bit of sense, right? Just a little bit. Just saying.
I should make up a shirt, something like heading to people's soup pool or something like that, and wear it as I'm walking in.
There you go. Public pools are just big cauldrons of people soup, and that's the way to kick off this show here.
Yeah, like really. So if you're still here, thank you for sticking around.
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you be? Why wouldn't you be? We're having intellectual conversations about people soup,
and water up against people's buttholes.
And listen, there's nothing wrong with having water up on your butthole. I mean, the French do have the whole bidet thing. It's like how you clean your butt. That's fine. But that's it. That's how you clean your butt.
Yeah.
I don't want to swim in water that's been cleaning people's asses. And if we're going to be honest, that's what a pool is. Not to mention when I was a kid and the public pool we had here in Bayonne, New Jersey was constantly closed because there was always kids just shitting in the pool. So, I mean, I've been put like, there's a reason why, the public pool.
So you're scarred from that memory.
I don't want to say scarred, not scarred, because if I was scarred, I would just never go into a pool.
Yeah.
Aware. Wary, awake to the truth of public pools. Maybe there's. I'm woke when it comes to pools.
I was going to say, you woke?
I'm woke when it comes to pools. And just pull back from that. That's all. That's all. I'm not telling anybody not to do it. I'm not sitting there like, oh, I don't like pools, so you can't like pools. Not at all. If you want to swim around in somebody's ass water, you're more than welcome to do so. I, personally, just would rather drink frozen cold alcoholic beverages on the side. That's all. That's all I'm saying. To each their own. Different strokes, different folks. Yeah. It happens. Yeah. One thing I do want to mention, because we talked a little bit about it off the air yesterday when we were doing our countdown picks, which, by the way, you can go check that out over on our channel, youtube.com/StayTunedSports. At Stay Tuned Sports. I always forget they put the at symbol there in the address. Yeah. So it's youtube.com/@Stay Tuned Sports. And by the way, while you're there, like, share, subscribe so that you got notified. We got a whole bunch of stuff coming. We got our Power Rankings countdown still going on. We have division predictions coming up. I believe next Friday we'll be doing that. We'll be having our first division because we're going to do a countdown on that as well. All getting ramped up for the season. So go ahead, like, share, subscribe, hit that little notification bell for us. But we did talk a little bit about Hot D yesterday. Where, no, that's not dirty, everybody. We're talking about, of course, House of the Dragon there on HBO. You finally watched the episode last night of the latest episode. And not giving spoilers away. I don't want to give spoilers away to anybody if you haven't seen it yet. I understand that. But if you haven't seen it yet, I don't know what you're doing. Second of all, like I told you, and again, this is not spoilery, but Vhagar's a fucking problem.
Yeah.
That's a big girl. That's a big girl.
Yeah. And Yeah, okay. I think I can say this without spoiling anything. If you look at now you're gonna have to help me with the names, but
Right.
the older lady that's the princess.
That is Rhaenys, I think.
Yes, Rhaenys. Her dragon was a big ass dragon too.
That's Meleys, yes. Meleys is
And
a
when
big dragon, but not anywhere near Vhagar. Yeah.
yeah, if you look at Vhagar, he's been around because he like even his wings had like some holes in them.
Right.
And,
Well,
like,
Vhagar.
you know.
First of all, how dare you misgender? Because Vhagar is a she. Uh,
See, oh, okay, I'll keep my.
yeah. See, no, you can't do that in this day. No,
Yeah.
Vhagar's been around. That was one of the 3 dragons that came over in the conquest with Aegon and his 2 sister wives. So that's actually the last dragon from the conquest that's still alive. That's why she's so big.
Yeah.
So all the other dragons there, they might be older. They have some experience. Like Meleys was around before Rhaenys, I think is her name.
Yeah.
Again, all the Targaryens have such the namings of the Targaryens is bullshit. But like she's when she goes up to her, and again, this is not spoiling anything, so no, but like she talks to her before they fly off, and she says, "Into battle again, old girl." She's never been to battle. The dragon has.
Yeah.
Meleys was around, I think, in the Dornish Wars or something like that a while ago, but her and Meleys have never been to battle. So it was almost like telling her, I was like, yeah, after all these years, like 80 years of peace of whatever there's been, she's like, time to go back again. And yeah, and then you had Sunfire, who's a real young one, which that was seeing him nuzzle up to the king as like he's like a loyal little dog, little puppy. Like,
Yeah.
my just again, I'm not going to spoil anything, but my wife had a tough time with this episode. She looked at me afterwards. She's like, I'm not prepared for this. Now, again, this is a show that in the first episode beheaded a child. But this episode was the one that made her go.
That was the second episode, I
No,
thought.
that was the first one.
The first, okay.
The end of the first one was them just cut a kid's head off.
Yeah.
The second episode was the aftermath of all that. But yeah. So if you haven't watched it, go watch it. If you're not going to watch it, I don't care then. But hell of a show. And yeah, Vhagar's a fucking problem.
Before we move on from the subject, I will say this. I had the wife cracking up when there was a certain scene, and if you guys watch it, you'll know. All I said was, see, this is why you shouldn't drink and fly.
Yeah, I mean, it's very true. And that's with anything. I'm sure Mike Gundy would have just told him, like I've done it 1,000 times, so it would have been fine.
Yeah.
Which is a crazy fucking statement for like I get it. I get what he's saying.
Yeah.
I understand the context of what he was saying. I understand the meat and bones of what he was saying. But people don't care about that. People care about sound bites. And so when you say it that way about this subject, it all of a sudden turns into Mike Gundy's drove and drunk 1,000 times. It's like
the funny part is, speaking of that, with NCAA football coming out next week, someone I want to say it looked like GTA, Grand Theft Auto, scene from it.
right.
And so, like, in the dynasty mode of the college football game that's going to be coming out, you obviously you recruit players, and there's different tactics you can do to recruit a player. You can sit down with them, or you could sit down with their friends, or whatever. And someone posted a TikTok video of, here's the spoiler for the first update of college football. They're adding Mike Gundy's newest tactic to recruit, and they show the Grand Theft Auto driving a car like this, running over people. I'm like, that is so funny.
Oh man. Again, I get it. I understand what he was trying to say, but sometimes
He's really not the best lately. Like, when he's trying to say something in his head, it sounds right, but it comes out wrong.
I don't know. I don't know. It could be the mullet. Listen. He's not 40 anymore. He's like in his 60s, I think now. But his famous quote again was from 20 plus years ago now, which makes me feel old as shit. Was his when they were yelling at one of his kids or something like that. He's like, make fun of me, say something to me. I'm a man. I'm 40, and it's like, okay, but how much did you have to drink before that, there, Mike? I just again, it's one of those things of foot and mouth. It's better just to be like, we've discussed, the situation. He knows that it's inappropriate. He knows anything like that, and anything that we do, as far as discipline or anything like that, will be handled in house, and we will do that privately as a private matter. That's how we should have handled it, especially because they didn't, they weren't going to suspend him. They weren't going to do anything like that. That's how you have to come out to the press and say that. Because even then, the press is still going to try to say, oh, they're not going to punish him. Boy, they're saying that no punishment has been said yet or anything like that. But it's a way to say it without doing that. By saying what he did and doing what he did, all of a sudden you give the press ammunition to be like, Mike Gundy loves to drink and drive, and he likes his college students to do it too. And it's like, not what he said, but all right, fuck it. What are you going to do? So there's that. And again, Aegon, don't lay off the wine before you start hopping on Dragon back. Not great. Not a great result. Again, not spoiling anything, but not a great result. As it was any time. If you are drunken behind some kind of motor vehicle, especially if it's a 40-ton dragon, maybe don't. But speaking of HBO and the fine program, and I just want to say this too. It's honestly the second best feeling to their football being back is there being very good HBO shows on Sunday night again.
Yeah.
Like that it feels right, Yeah. Like when you had either Succession or Game of Thrones originally, or Last of Us was last year and things like. So whenever you have those great HBO shows that are the Sunday night HBO shows, it feels right. And we've been lacking that for a bit here.
Yeah.
So finally, having Hot D back on a Sunday is I'm excited for that. Just to put that out there. But
I'll tell you what. That's basically the reason why I signed up for Max, because I try to keep my streaming services at a minimum.
Right.
Like Netflix, I basically use it once every 6 months now because all my shows are going off of it. But I hopped on real quick before I paid for it, and I was like, okay, so we got House of the Dragon. You got Hard Knocks coming out. Then I saw Godzilla and King Kong New Empire. I'm like, oh, I want to watch that. Right. So there was already 4 or 5 different things I wanted to see. I'm like, you know what? All right, it's worth paying this amount that I'm going to be paying. So that's why I signed up. And like I said, I totally forgot Last of Us was on it. Yeah. On Max. So there's another show.
And there's another one that season 2 is coming up, I think, next year at some point.
Yeah.
So they got, they it's quality content. I'll say this. When they do it right, it's quality content.
Yeah.
But like I said, speaking of HBO, and again, quality content, last night we had episode 2 of Hard Knocks Offseason with the New York Giants. And a bit of a shorter episode than the first one, but a lot better. There was so much content in this episode and so much of a transparent look of kind of just how everything works and how the people talk and feel and everything. This is doing what training camp, what the Hard Knocks training camp did. The end season never hit quite like that to me. I was never I have to watch the Hard Knocks in season.
Yeah.
It never felt like that to me. And I don't know, maybe that'll change this year where they're doing a whole division, which I think it might. You get a little bit more of that interplay.
Yeah.
But in just seeing how Joe Schoen talks and handles everything from Saquon to his agent to the owner to the coach to, walking over to the Patriot side of the combine and being like, hey, just listen. I know you guys are at 3. Just if you ever feel like it, if you're ever if you're thinking about maybe possibly there could be something that you do with that pick, keep us in mind. Just give us a crack at it. You know what I mean? And I heard one of the talking heads this morning was like, it's so fascinating to see that you always, as a fan, you always sit there and think that like these kind of deals or this kind of talk is always done more professionally. It's the guy in his office and he's got the phones working and he's like, all right, let me know. Tell me if you want this for the pick. I'll see this. Oh, I don't know about that, girl. Give me a picture of Spider-Man. Something like that. Like it's that kind of image you have in your head, and then you realize that a lot of, if not maybe all of these kind of deals are done almost like in a bar. Yeah. Almost like there's just 2 guys talking at a bar and just like, hey, how you doing? Hey, have a drink. Hey, you want? What are you going to give me 2 1s for this guy? I don't know. Maybe we'll give you 2 2s. No, keep us in mind if you're going to do it. All right, maybe we'll do this and we'll pull like it. It seems almost like that. It reminds me of the fact that Matthew Stafford is in Los Angeles because I believe that's what. Yeah, because he was vacationing down in Cancun, and Sean McVay was there too, and then they ended up sitting there and talking and having a couple of drinks, and next thing you know, an agent is called, the teams are called, and people are all of a sudden making a trade between Detroit and LA. Yeah. And that all happened because the 2 of them got drunk and fucking Cancun. I think that's a bit of an eye-opener for a lot of people who are seeing that. But just also just a lot of great content otherwise. All the receivers that they interviewed, I was absolutely impressed with.
I'm curious to see about Malik Neighbors now, because you always make fun of me that AJ Smith is a cancer and this, that, and the other thing. Or AJ Smith. What the hell am I talking about? AJ Brown. It's been a hot day.
I'm not. Listen, I'm not going to cause no shit. I'm saying it's hot. I'm sweating already. I'm surprised I'm not sweating through this like I did the tuxedo on your wedding day. But,
wedding day, yeah.
That was rough. You are. I'm going to say this. You are very shiny. I'm seeing the picture. Well, very shiny.
I did take a shower, and that was.
That doesn't matter, dude. It does, like this heat is. Doesn't matter. We got to get you a makeup. We got to get you a makeup person. We got to get the wife in there. She's got to be your makeup artist.
The only way that'll happen is if you guys head over to our donation code. There you go. King's got it right.
Right over here. And then also, if you want to help us out and also get something in return, merch store right over there. We got new stuff in there. We got the digital football helmets starting to pop down. We got the Eagles and Giants up there right now. I know we got Jets are coming. Seahawks are coming. Bengals are coming. So we got some more teams coming up in the works there. Go visit all of them there. So merch store, donation station. Thank you. Anyway, continue.
Get him back. You know how you always say AJ Brown's a cancer and he's always blowing up this and that. Neighbors sounds like he potentially could be that too. Ryan Dable kind of made that comment of you gotta be able to handle it a little bit better. The losing aspect of it, not being part of the game. I did see someone like just a regular fan, not like a NFL writer or whatever, on Twitter say, sounds like Dable knows how to handle his kid because of one former Bills wide receiver, Stephon Diggs.
Maybe, and here's the thing. Like, and I think one of the Giants scouts also said it too. It's like, what wide receiver taken in the last 5 years has been a choir boy when it comes to things like that? Like, yes, he wants the ball. Yes, he wants to win. He hates losing and all this stuff. Like, those are good answers. But like Daboll was telling him there in the interview, I like that you're competitive. I like that you hate fucking losing. I hate fucking losing too. Because especially if we lose more, I'm gonna be out of a fucking job. So, So I'm with you on that. I get it. But you need to be able to handle that in a better, more constructive way. You need to be able to keep a lid on that, at least with everything else. And seeing them talk about who they scouted, like them talking about Caleb Williams, is a lot of what I've kind of said too. Like, and you heard them talk about like Caleb Williams, great ability, great talent. You know, they started 6-0, then they lost 5 of their last 6 games. You could tell, you know, like it was interesting to see how he handled that adversity. Again, like we saw that there were games that he didn't answer the press or take any questions after games. He's like, that's a big no-no in this market. You wouldn't want to do that in New York. You can't do that. So, but other than that, you know, good talent, everything like that. And that's the thing. Like, how fragile is Caleb Williams? You know, because that's kind of the thing. When you saw that, like when he's crying with his mama in the stands and not taking press questions and not doing anything like that, it's like if he starts for the Bears, which it looks like he's probably going to do, and the Bears start off, you know, 1-4, 0-5, something like that, is he gonna be a problem? Is he going to blow off the media? Is he going to be diva-ish? Is he going to do all that same stuff? Is he still going to be painting his goddamn fingernails with, you know, fuck the Packers or whatever on it? You know, like I don't know. Yeah. But it's interesting to see that is something that is brought up and people do talk about it. As much as fans don't want to, or fans are like, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. It fucking matters. Yeah. To these teams. It matters. Professionalism matters. Now, again, he still got drafted number 1 overall because he has the raw ability. It's does he have the professionalism to be able to take the next step and be a better quarterback, be a better person overall, be a better teammate? We don't know that. We're going to see. But I don't think he's signed yet either. I think he's still holding out.
He's
right?
still holding out.
I believe he said, "I know my worth."
Yep.
Not starting out great there, Caleb. You know, I get it, but you know.
The other thing with Caleb that was kind of surprising to me with the episode was when Dable asked him, "You're probably going to run 70 plays. Your team's probably going to run 70 plays in the game. Say 45 of them are offensively. What is your favorite play that you would have to run over and over for 20 plays or something like that?" And it took him a while to figure out a second,
but that doesn't bother me. That doesn't bother me with him trying to say, like, if I had to run one play 40 to 70 times a fucking game, which one would I just constantly want to go back to? Like, I'm glad he gave it thought. I'm glad he wasn't like, oh, I'm going to do it this one. You know, like, I'm glad he didn't. You know, to me, that shows a thought of he's got a Rolodex of plays. He's like, which one would work best for that situation? You know, so that didn't bother me. I did like that they were, with all of them, kind of, Daboll was quizzing him and hot-shotting him on play calls and stuff like that. And he's like, this is how this one works. This is the you know, X22 over 7 slant slide right 4-2 post curve. And like, again, that's not one of the plays. I'm just making up shit because that's what it sounds like to me. It's all fucking Greek to me. But you see them going through it all, and then he asked him to repeat it back without looking at the board. And then in the middle of the one conversation, I believe it was Malik that he's with. Malik, and he goes, "Oh wait, hold on a second. Repeat that play back to me." And he was able to do it. He kept on getting one of the letters wrong on one of the calls, but that wasn't that big of a deal. But he was able to do that. Marvin Harrison Jr., massively impressive. Because he definitely could have and probably should have thrown his fucking Ohio State quarterback friend under the bus when they were talking to him about that game. And he's like, I don't ever put the quarterback under the bus. I blame myself, and that's what I do, and I go through all that. And like, Arizona got a steal in my mind with getting him. He's gonna be a superstar. Like, Marvin Harrison Jr. is, I think, maybe the can't miss candidate. Yeah. Caleb is whatever he's going to be. We don't know yet. You know, he could be this, he could be that, he could be great, he could be troublesome, he could be problematic, as the kids love to say these days. I don't know. But Marvin Harrison Jr. seems like the most can't miss kind of guy. Like, I get which is funny because you'd think, oh, I get a lot of his father vibes a little bit, and especially because he's going to Arizona, this is what makes this kind of funny. Is I get a ton of Larry Fitzgerald vibes from him.
Yeah.
Just as far as work ethic, how he speaks, how he handles himself, how he would talk to the media, how he talks to these guys, how he's going to be in the locker room, like a very Larry Fitzgerald kind of guy, quiet, humble, leader. Like he's going to be a guy in that locker room that's going to be that kind of a leadership role. So I think again, Arizona got a huge win. I think we're getting him, and the same with Odunze. Which again went to Chicago. So I mean, Chicago set up for it, but Odunze very impressive during that whole interview process, which I loved seeing. Drake May was good. You know, here's the thing that I thought was hilarious during the scouting conversation is when they said he's got a lot of the same things Daniel Jones got. He's kind of the same guy. You know, I know a lot of people talking about that. And then there was talking about, maybe the Giants are going to trade up for him. That's when he went over to talk to the Patriots about the number 3 pick. Maybe we'll trade up. Maybe we'll trade. We're open to a trade. We're going to do something like that. It's like, okay, but all you're going to do is trade for Daniel Jones, just a year or two younger. Like I don't understand like a lot of that, and I know a lot of the fans are sitting there like, oh, see, even the Giants are tired of Daniel Jones. They didn't want him. They got Malik Neighbors, and everybody's like, oh, Daniel Jones, but they didn't really want that. They wanted to get a quarterback because they're tired of Daniel Jones. I don't quite buy that. I think the situation was open and I think this goes for any team outside of unless you have like Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, or Josh Allen. Or even Justin Herbert, I'll give that. But I think any other team is like, well, if someone's open for it and it works for us with what we got, kick the tires on it and see what it is. And I think that's the job of the GM too, is to look at all available paths. Look at everybody. That's what I mean. The Giants looked at all these players. You heard the scouts talk about all these players. The Giants knew they weren't getting Caleb fucking Williams. The Giants knew they weren't getting Marvin Harrison Jr., but you do your due diligence. You want to scout these guys because then you want to scout them even when they're on the other team because they're playing for the other team now. Now you got to scout them anyway. So
yeah,
like
the only thing I'll say about the Daniel Jones, if they drafted Drake May, would be you said a few times that if Jones sucks this year, they basically could get rid of him after this year, right?
Right. We can. It's he's got I think 2 more years on the end of this, but those are. I think team options. So it's if he blows it this year, if he's not that great, they can just chalk him.
So I mean, let's just say they drafted Drake May. Daniel Jones sucks this year. He's gone. Now you're back on a rookie quarterback contract for the next 4 years. So you could build a team. You could build an offensive line until his contract is ready to re-up and stuff like that. So that would be the only thing I would say if they wanted to draft Drake May. Would be.
I don't think you would want to do that high though, especially with the way the cap was. Now again, if you saw the opening of the episode last night and how he almost fell holy shit, 255.6. That's a lot more. It gives us what, $35 million to play around with, or we could do all that kind of stuff. But that's the thing is, if you draft that high, even though he is a rookie and it's a rookie contract, it's still a lot of money. And the Giants, you still want to be able to have that money to and again, as we've seen, they used a lot of that for Brian Burns. They used a lot of that to kind of shore up the offensive line, try to start fixing that as much as they could, and doing things like that. And then, of course, there is the big thing that everybody's talking about at the end of the episode is when he calls up Saquon and lets them know, like, hey, listen, what we're going to do here seems like the fairest thing is to let you go out there, hit the market, find your value, and after that, if you want to come back to us and see, give us a chance to go ahead and match that and see if that's something that we're both interested in and do that. We went through the whole franchise tagging last year, and it was bad for you. It was bad for us. Nobody wants to go through that again. And we just want to know what's going on? So we're going to do that. And he's like, yeah, sure. And he's like, can I get your word on that? You know? And then Saquon's like, well, my word on what? That I'll come back and talk to you. He's like, yeah, that that you give us a chance, that you let us match that. And and he's like, well, I already told you where I want to be. And he's like, all right. So we know that that's kind of how that started. And I honestly think Shane did as a great job with that situation, because it's a difficult situation.
Oh yeah.
Do you go ahead and do the franchise tag thing again? And with all that entails, do you try to offer him a contract and that it's lowball, it's insulting to somebody who wants to be a Giant for life? And you got to remember, he's on a lot of pressure too, because John Mara loves Saquon, as you see that. And somebody else brought up the fact, and I think it's true too, is that I truly believe John Mara cares and loves his players, which is not something you see from a lot of owners or things like that. But again, the Giants are an old guard. Yeah. So, I mean, the Maras have owned the team since the start. This is their third generation of owning it. They're 100%. You had who was it? Tim Mara bought him for $500. Then Wellington took over, and then John after him. But it seems like he genuinely cares about the players and loves his players and doesn't want to see him go. And that's the thing, when you saw the preview for next week, and there's John Mara in Shane's office, like, I'm gonna have trouble sleeping if we can't hold on to Saquon,
Yeah.
So I get that. So there's a pressure on Shane from that. And there's a pressure on Shane from the media, who has been cooking him forever because he gave Daniel Jones a contract and franchised Saquon. And they thought it should have been the other way around, which is, I don't understand that, because listen, the NFL is a quarterback league. You always want to take care of the quarterback first. Whether you think Daniel Jones is the right quarterback or not, the guy dragged the Giants to a playoff win in 2022 on his contract year. Yeah. What do you want? Anyway, we've gone through this argument 10 million times anyway. So with everything that was going on, everything around it, I think Shane did a great job in handling a bad situation and trying to make sure that, like, Saquon wasn't insulted, wasn't given a lowball offer. But now here's the question: is by doing that, was that seen as disrespectful by Saquon or anything like that? And we'll see as the show goes on. We'll see if Saquon actually did come back to the Giants and give him a chance or not, and you just say, double birds, I'm going to the Eagles, caw-caw, whatever. We'll see. I don't know. Yeah. At the end of the day, I know I've been loudly saying, like, I don't mind the move. Saquon is very talented, but oft injured. And even when he's not injured, he's of a middling impact when he's on the field. He has one or two decent plays that he can make that you've seen, maybe a season. But he's not a game-changing player, at least not for this team, not for the Giants. It just didn't work out there. And you can say a number of different reasons. Is that the Giants didn't have any other weapons but him, because we had no wide receivers whatsoever. We had a bad offensive line. Our defense, for the most part, outside of Dexter Lawrence, was shit. Like, I get that. But again, when it comes to Daniel Jones, people are fine throwing him under the bus and not giving him any of those excuses. But for Saquon, all of a sudden, every excuse is on the table. So I'm like, if you're going to give one an excuse, give the other one. And if you're not going to give one an excuse, then you can't use it for the other one. My whole thing is, yes, the Eagles got Saquon. Yes, they got him for, what, 23 million?
Yeah, 23.
You're going to see if it's worth it. If it was just the Giants, or if it was Saquon. You're going to see how the Eagles' offensive line works now without having Kelsey as the anchor there. You're going to see you're just going to see how that all works. I, of course, hope that it doesn't work because fuck the Eagles and I hate them. But we're all going to see. We're going to see how the Giants do with Devin Singletary and see if having that smaller, nimble back out of the backfield works better for this offensive line. Because that's the thing too. Saquon was powerful, but he was big. So him trying to bust through holes, if they can't get the blocks, if they can't get the holes open, it's hard for Saquon to do anything. And I get that. I understand that. So maybe having a smaller back with an offensive line that maybe isn't that great, he can do a little more sneaking inside, sneaking outside, able to work it better as a back. I don't think he's a third down back. Third down back should need that. Yeah. By the way, bring back the fullback. That's what we need. We need. It
Mike seems Holstock. Like that's slowly coming back. There's a couple teams with decent fullbacks.
You catch him every now and then, but we need the Mike All-Starts back. All-Starts back in the world. I had an All-Star jersey back in the day too. Yeah.
The only thing I'll say about the Shane and the Barkley situation as of right now, yes, I'll agree with you. Kudos to him. I don't think by him saying we're gonna hit the free agent mark was a insult to Barkley.
I don't think so either.
I think it was the right thing to say. Listen, go see what you're worth. And I think there was even one scene that he didn't think there's going to be a team out there that's going to.
That was the discussion with everybody. Was, if we're looking at this, we don't think that there's a team out there that's going to put that kind of money out there for a running back the way the running back market has been. And to be fair, we've done episodes on this talking about Jonathan Taylor and his contract issues and how the running back position seems to be kind of in a bear market, where it's very hard for a running back past his rookie contract to really get any kind of money. Because you're already seen as old. If you're 27 years old, you're old, you're used up, you're banged up. You're not worth. And again, Saquon's had 2 major injuries, 2 major surgeries. One was his ankle, and the other one's the ACL. I remember when he ripped that up in Chicago on their natural grass field. By the way, all you turf haters out there, MetLife must have done. No. Now, granted, Soldier Field has the shittiest sod in the world. I'm not gonna lie. So that's not. I'm not really. That's if you want to look to defend grass, Soldier Field's not the venue you want to use for like. Hey, grass is great. I don't know. You ever been to Soldier Field? Not that great. So like, when you as a general manager, you have to look at these things analytically. You have to look at what's the money, what's the possible output, what's the wear and tear. He's got the 2 major injuries. What do the numbers look like that he's already had? What do we have to work with? Like you have to take all these things in and then make the best decision that you can. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's it's to the public it looks like a bad decision. Maybe to some people in the building is, but like you have to take the leap. And say, like, are we going to put this kind of money behind somebody, or are we going to try to use that money to shore up some of our other deficiencies and hopefully work that out? And if he is able to find that his market isn't what he wants and come back or do anything like that, that's fine. So that's what I mean. Like, I've never been upset at Shane the way some of the Giants fans around here have. You can't let that on Saquon. Like, I'll say this, and I'll leave it at this. I was never a fan of when the Giants picked him at number 2.
I remember that.
Not because of who Saquon is. Again, I like Saquon at Penn State. I watched him play. He's obviously, again, he's very talented. He's got thighs that are bigger than my chest. Like, the guy has all the physical attributes. He has the temperament, the personality that you want. He's very good in the locker room. He's very humble. He's not a locker room cancer. He's not somebody who's going to do any of that stuff like he is. Overall, great guy.
Yeah.
But this is something that I hold steadfast to. Never pick a running back in like the top 10 of a draft. Like
Yeah.
it never works out. It's never great. And just like running backs have always kind of been that, you can find them. You can find a good running back, whether it's later in the first round or in the later rounds of the draft. You can find great running backs. You don't have to pick a running back super, super high. And picking him number 2, I think was bad from the Giants because there was always that expectation of being a number 2 overall pick. Who knows who the Giants could have gotten otherwise from them? Like, I forget that draft, particularly who was in it or anything like that, if there was anybody else that was worth taking that high. But again, it was a Gettleman stretch. It was one of those Gettleman stretches. And overall, I didn't think it worked then. I don't think it was the right move to make then. And overall, it hasn't panned out for Saquon in New York. It hasn't. As much as we've all liked Saquon, as much as the fans rallied around him, as much as we all wished and hoped that he would be like like a Brandon Jacobs or a Joe Morris or just somebody that was like a Giants legend, somebody that we know. It just never worked out. He's kind of more of a Rodney Hampton. High pick, had the talent, had the ability, it just never quite worked out,
Yeah.
I would say I wish him all the best, but I don't. Because he went to the fucking Eagles. So that's out of the question now. So I certainly don't hope for the best for him. But again, we got 18 weeks coming up, starting in early September. So we'll see. We'll see what the season brings. We can't predict one way or the other how it's going to go. Again, who knows? Watch Washington wins the division or something. Like who knows?
Because we haven't had a divisional repeat in 13, 14 seasons.
22, I believe.
Was it?
Yes, I think early 2001. 2001?
Oh, okay. I thought you said
2002, something like that was the Eagles went back to back, and then since then there's been a different. Let me see. I just punched my microphone. We have the power of internet here. Hold on.
I thought you said 22. That's why I was like, I didn't think.
I think it's about 22 years, 22 seasons without.
Okay, that makes sense. I am curious to see next week's episode though. To see, I'm assuming free agency is going to hit for the episode, so we'll be able to see what transpired. Does Barkley hold his word, call Shane back, and do they offer him? Because that's been Barkley's thing the whole time, is they never offered him anything. So technically, right now they have not offered him a contract.
Okay, so the last time there was a repeat champion was 2004. That was the fourth of the Eagles' 4 straight division championships, running from 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004. Since then, the champions have gone Giants, Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, Cowboys, Eagles, Giants, Redskins, Eagles, Cowboys, Redskins, Cowboys, Eagles, Cowboys, Eagles, Redskins, Cowboys, Eagles, Cowboys.
Redskins suck.
So they have the Washington football team of Redskin Commanders have 3 in that time. The Giants also have 3, only 3. But in 2 of those, well, actually, no. We only won the Super Bowl in 2011 with winning the division, and we won a division that year at 9-7. Jesus, that year sucked.
Oh man, yeah, I remember that season.
So, yeah, and then it's been the Eagles and Cowboys division ever since. They just kind of flip flop and go back and forth. But the Eagles at least have 2 Super Bowls in that time. The Cowboys have none. So interesting. It's one of those divisions that you look at and it's like, oh yeah, no, that division just doesn't have a real consistent. Like, there's no Patriots of the NFC East. There's no Chiefs, no Bills, no anything like that. It's an open division.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how we go this year. Hey, maybe the Giants pull on. Hey, maybe Danny Dimes.
Last thing I'll bring up about the episode. I've liked Dable ever since the Giants hired him. Like I've never had a reason to not like him or hate him. I dislike him because he's with the Giants. I'll say
Right,
that
right,
much.
right.
But he's a funny motherfucker.
Dude, I fucking love him. I really do.
I could get a 7 flat. Just put a thing of wings at the end.
You put a plate of wings at the end. I get there under 7. I do under 7.
And every person that came into that booth, hey, you think I could do it? Nope. And the one guy, Dabes, I saw you run across the street just now.
Well, yeah. What do you think it'll take to make you to run under 7? Start at the 35-yard line. That one was good. That was a good one. That was a good one.
And then the scene. I want to go to Indy now just for that restaurant.
The steak and seafood thing that they had there. Yeah.
And they had the shrimp cocktail was all spicy and shit. Like, well, you know me, I love spicy food.
I like so do I. That's the other thing too. I want to let everybody know out there, all you stereotypers out there. White people like spicy. All right, I'm gonna say that right now. I'm gonna say it again. White people like spicy. Also, fuck mayonnaise. I don't like mayonnaise. Mayonnaise sucks. No, fuck mayonnaise.
We were friends.
Mayonnaise is gross. Potato salad, macaroni salad, eat my ass. Give me spicy. Give me gumbo. Give me all the spices. I want it. Yeah. Hate the stereotype.
I mean, I know jalapeno. You probably would do.
I don't eat peppers. I eat spices. I can't eat a whole pepper. It's the texture thing. I just don't like peppers.
Okay.
But I like the spiciness of a pepper. So again, you get you grind it up, you make it into a nice sauce. You get a spicy sauce or a spicy rub or anything like that. I'm all for it. But you give me a stuffed pepper, I'm punching you in the face. Like it's just we're not doing that. But give me the spices, give me all that kind of stuff. Put it in there. That's it. You put the stuff like in a nice gumbo or something. Let it soak in there. Soak it to all that the chicken and the rice and just all the beans. Give me beans. Oh, give me some beans and spice it up. You put the rice in it and you get like the yellow beans and rice. Like dude. That's the good thing about North Jersey. All the Spanish places around here.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. The red beans and rice, the yellow rice you can get. All the various amounts of different spiced chickens. Oh my God! Oh, you can't, I'm sorry, you can't beat it. And that's not even to mention Jamaican beef patties that you get from like actual Jamaicans around here, which is just, it's just that is the thing I will always grant to North Jersey here and everything like that is the culinary melting pot around here is second to none. It's just so much good shit. It really is. Anyway, so yes, I'm looking forward to next week's Hard Knocks Offseason with the New York Giants. What else do we got going on right now? I know the Euros are going on with soccer, but
but who cares about soccer?
I do. Fuck England. I don't like England. I don't want to. Right now it's 1-1 in the 67th minute. Netherlands and England. Go Netherlands.
How about WWE? Last Saturday was Money in the Bank.
Yes, great show.
Me and you. Overall, yeah, I did like it. I said this to you through Messenger. I just didn't like the Drew McIntyre.
I love it.
Winning the Money in the Bank.
I love it.
But the women's Money in the Bank match,
dude, that was 5 stars.
How did like 3 of them not die? Especially the Zoe Starks and the one girl from Damage Control. I forget.
Io Sky.
Io Sky.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing that.
The spot off the ladder. I thought one of them broke their neck.
Yeah. And kudos to Zoe. She sold that shit.
Well, she sold it. I thought she legitimately was dead. And I think Corey Graves said the same thing. He's like, "Oh my God, she's dead." Wait, because it looked like it was an awkward landing. It looked like she didn't land right. It looked like it was kind of off just a little bit. But damn, like it was. That was a hell of a match. A bunch of great spots. Chelsea sold the her fear of heights well, and then she took a hell of a bump into the tables to end it. I enjoyed that. But back to the other point you were saying, I still don't understand how you don't like the Drew and Punk angle. And now you pulled in Seth, which a lot of people forgot about Seth and Punk, and that angle they were kind of building when Punk first came back, about how Seth really doesn't like Punk, and I don't think he likes him in real life either. So there's kind of that push and pull. And now he's part of that now because Punk cost him the chance to go after the championship so long as Damian Priest still has it. So, I mean, it's brilliant writing.
Yeah.
And you keep that going because now here's the thing. Drew doesn't need the belt. Drew is a big enough person that he doesn't need the belt. And this is the thing. Him having the belt almost hurts the story between him and Punk. Because that's the thing is Punk is because Drew wanted to make fun of him and kept on making fun of him because he was injured and making fun of him for his AEW stuff and making fun of him for all the other stuff, and just kind of needling him. Now Punk is needling him. He cost him the belt at WrestleMania. He cost him the Money in the Bank here. He keeps on just catching him, just tweaking him, just keeps on. So now the draw isn't whether or not Drew gets the title or Punk gets the title or whoever gets the title. Now the draw is, I just want to see these two beat the shit out of each other now. Now I kind of want to see, no matter which one you side on, whether you're with Punk and want to see him beat Drew, or if you're like on Drew's side and want to see him beat the shit out of Punk, whatever side you're on, that's what you want to see now. That's the draw. That's where the money is. That's the sizzle. And so you don't need the belt for that. So you can leave the belt on Priest, who desperately needs it. He needs some kind of shine on him. So you leave the belt on him, make him still be important while this is still going on, and which is arguably bigger than the title picture, which it is.
Yeah.
Having the Punk and Drew feud is bigger than the title. And that's key, and that's amazing. And that's what helped advance that. On Saturday, that helped to push this to even that further of a level. So now you're going to get to either SummerSlam or even Survivor Series. Like, this can go all the way to Mania. This could be very long-form storytelling until they get to Mania. And then you have a blow-off match between Drew and Punk in Vegas at Mania. That'll be great. That'll be great.
I think you'll see something at SummerSlam, but I think it's going to be with the three of them.
That's the thing. I don't think you're going to see a match that's Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk until Mania.
Yeah.
Whether, you said, they do a three-way, whether it's Punk and Seth at SummerSlam and then Drew comes in and costs them or does something like that. I don't think you're going to see the direct conflict until Mania.
Yeah. And then obviously the announcement of John Cena making his retirement farewell tour.
He's doing a tour. 2025 is the last one. A lot of people got confused. They said, WrestleMania is going to be his last match. No. That's going to be his last WrestleMania. But he says he's wrestling. Hopefully, if everything works out well, he's going to wrestle all the way through to December. Yeah. And then that'll be it. So I'm interested to see which way they go with this. Do they try to get him the title to beat Flair's number? Who knows? Flair actually has, I think 21 or 22, but I forget how many are actually recognized by the WWE or whatever. Anyway, it's wrestling. The numbers move around. Remember, Hogan was the first person to ever slam Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3, except for all the other times that he slammed Andre and AWA and all the other ones. So, professional wrestling is a lot like politics. It's not about the facts; it's about the story they tell you, and which is kind of apropos for the world we're fucking living in right now. Don't pay no attention to your eyes, guys. He's fine. He's fine. Take that as well. We're not going to get political on the show. We're not going to get political on the show.
I'm not the traditional wrestling, career ender. I hope that they give Cena the belt. I know, like my friend Jason, he said no. His last match he's got to lose. That's how it's done. And I'd rather see him get the belt.
And here's the thing: I think Cena knows that too, and he'll go. I think at some point during his run he will get it. I do, and whether it's seen as fan service or whatever, I think he'll at least have the opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
Because he said in his post pay-per-view presser there, he was like, I'll see. I haven't won a match in like 2 years here. I've done all this other stuff, so I have to earn it. Whatever I do, I have to earn it and do it like that. So I think they'll try to build that up a bit, and I think maybe if he does get the belt, he'll get it. But I think he'll drop it before the end, and I think his very last match, he'll go out on his back the way it is, because he is that kind of guy. He's that old school bit of a wrestling guy. The way Taker was, the way all of these guys are is you go out on your back.
Yeah.
And when Ric Flair did that, which turned out not to be his last match, but at WrestleMania 24 against Michaels, and that was it. And that's still the moment. And to a lot of people, that is the end of Ric Flair's career.
Yeah.
I know he did stuff in TNA. I know he did something in AEW. I think he had a fucking heart attack in AEW. Where they're like, go out there and wrestle at 70-something, even though you also just had a recent massive medical scare which you almost died. But, yeah, whatever. Yeah, sure, go ahead, do that. Not great. So I think a lot of people still consider that to be Ric Flair's end, as well it should be. And what did Rick do? He went out on the end. He took Sweet Chin Music, took the pin, and that's how you're supposed to go out. So I think Cena will do something like that, and we'll see. Yes, people, we do love wrestling. We're wrestling marks. We do like it. But we are also in the slow summer season, so you're going to hear us talk about it a little bit more than usual.
and that's the thing too, guys. If you like listening to us talk about wrestling, put in the comments that, hey, we don't mind you guys talking about wrestling, get opinions and stuff like that. So,
or if you don't like us talking about wrestling and want to put nasty stuff in the comments, we'll ignore you and won't pay any attention to you. Be respectful. That's all I'll say. Because listen. I'm going to be honest. And I learned this a long time ago, and I think some people should probably do this more often. No matter what you do in life, don't read the comments. No matter what it is in life, no matter what it is, whether you're just a regular person posting stuff about your regular everyday life, doing anything like that. Because I've seen lovely people in my everyday life, people I know, friends, family. I've seen lovely women post just, I'm out on vacation. Look at this. This is lovely. And have had just the most horrific shit posted underneath their posts and photos and stuff like that. And people tend to get upset. They're like, why would someone say this? Why would somebody do that? Why would somebody, say like, oh, you're a terrible mother. Why? Because I took my kid out to like the Bahamas or some shit like that, or whatever the case is. Just don't read the comments. No matter what it is in life, just step away from the computer, touch grass, as the kids say, and just, don't do that. So that's kind of what I've done there. Like, I love feedback. I love constructive criticism. And I know plenty of people who I've worked with in radio and in working in those kind of production fields and things like that, whose opinion I know, I love, I trust, and who I know will be brutally honest with me. One way or the other, whether it's positive or negative. They're like, oh, this works, or don't fucking do that. So I respect that. But for the most part, I don't read the comments. And this is not a disrespect to anybody out there. If you want to go ahead and leave comments underneath here, Jimbo will read them. Jimbo will read them all day. Jimbo loves reading that stuff. Whether good or bad, he'll get angry. He's fine. But as for me, I
don't get angry. I laugh at the retarded ones.
I don't even do it. I know I posted a Daniel Jones video a while ago that got a little bit of attention and a lot of comments apparently towards me, and I got to tell you, I didn't even read one. I knew you told me that there are some interesting comments down there. I was like, I didn't even read it. I saw that there were comments there. I saw that it got a little bit of a buzz, but I wasn't going to read it because I don't need to. Like, it's not it's not something that I don't feel like I need to be shit on in order to be better. And a lot of times YouTube comments have a reputation for just being negative for being negative's sake. So that's why I will leave the comment reading and dissertations to you, and you go ahead and deal with them however you see fit. But yeah, like again, it's a bit of the slow season. So we talk about wrestling. We talk about the Hard Knocks. Talk a little bit about House of the Dragon, little hot D action going on here. Vhagar's still a fucking problem, man. That dragon's a problem. I don't know. Is there anything else?
I think we covered everything we want to cover today.
WNBA is doing real good. Good for them. That's the Caitlin Clark effect right there.
It seems like finally they're coming around, WNBA players, and trying to
maybe not beat the shit out of the girl that's trying to save the fucking league and make you guys more money. How about that? That'd be great.
Yeah.
Although I do find it hilarious that they're doing the way they have the All-Star game set up is that Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are on the same team.
I saw that.
I want to see. All of a sudden, All-Star games, which suck. Anyway, across the board, all of a sudden, WNBA All-Star game, I might have to fucking watch that. I might have to watch that and just see how that dynamic plays out.
Caitlin Clark goes to the pass to Angel. Just dodgeball it.
You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Man. Yeah, I'm going to have to tune in for that game.
I'm telling you, maybe we'll do a live watch along. I got to see what happens there.
Yeah. But, so I think that's going to be it for us.
All right. Don't forget.
Until next week.
Don't forget, I just want to point out there before anything, if you're watching us here on YouTube, first of all, if you listen to us on the podcast, thank you very much. But get your ass to YouTube. And if you're watching us here on YouTube, please like, share, subscribe, hit the little notification bell, let you know. And yes, share us around. Just send us to anybody you know. I don't care if they like sports or not. Just get us out there. Spread the word. That would be great. Also, donation station right there if you want to help us out. Get Jimbo a makeup artist for his super shiny forehead, as we can see. Also, if you want to help us out, merch store right over there. You can help us out with that. Buy some merch. That's the thing. That's basically donating money, but you get something in return. It's pretty cool. I just wanted to push that out there, Jimbo.
So until next week, it's your good friend Jimbo.
And it's your boy King.
We're out.
Vhagar's a problem.